Okay, good day and welcome to today's worship service. We are grateful that you are here with us today. My name is Rebecca and I'm the service coordinator for today here at All Souls Church, where our mission is to seek truth, practice love, and celebrate life. Whether you are joining us for the first time or you've been a member for a long time, you are welcome here. Whatever faith you have known or not known, or whatever your heritage or where you are from, you are welcome here. Whatever questions you hold, whatever truths you seek, whatever sorrow you have known, whatever joy has filled your heart, whoever you are and whomever you love, you are all welcome here. Now for announcements. I call your attention to the notice of next Sunday's program at the bottom of your order service and urge you to continue to read our weekly email blast for the dates and details of additional upcoming events and opportunities. If you're not receiving our weekly emails, please sign up for them on the clipboard in the foyer before leaving, and I invite you to stay for a conversation. Today, instead of circle discussion, we're having a meeting. So there's actually coffee and cake behind you. So after service, if you would grab coffee and cake and then join us for our weekly meeting instead of circle discussion today. And are there any other announcements?
Hi, I'm Steve. One correction from an announcement that's in the bulletin. Next week is Pride Festival. I urge you all to go there. We've typically always have had a booth. This year, the booth filled up before we could get one. So we have no booth, so this year we're gonna just go and celebrate. It's at the Canaries Ball Stadium this year, different from last year.
Okay, I have to explain. I had an eye appointment, and I was told that I had to have a laser treatment, that my eye would be blurry, so I contacted with Cheryl Cook to play for today, and so I came just to be here, but she's not here. I have no idea where she is. So I don't have any music here that I normally bring. I don't even have my piano glasses, so you're going to see me squinting here. So I will just try to do the best I can, and I'm sure this is a misunderstanding. So anyway, just wanted to let you know why things are a little different today, musically.
Carol, you don't understand that your worst is better than most people's best. In addition to the Pride Festival next Saturday, there is also a Festival of Cultures that's going to be held at the Levitt downtown. And so you may want to visit the Festival of Cultures to become aware of and more familiar with all the other cultures we have around.
Okay, now the chalice lighting will be 444. This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. House of friendships and heaven, an open room for encouragement or struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person.
It offers a platform with a free voice for declaring both in times of securities and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion.
It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers.
It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks.
It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present, in visions of growth and progress.
This house is a cradle for all our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor.
Then our first song is 360, Here We Have Gathered. Our first reading will be on page 437, the back of the count. Let us worship with our eyes and ears and fingertips.
Let us love the world through heart and mind and body.
We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our brothers and sisters.
We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people in all times of life.
We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, and anguish behind cruelty.
All life falls into a great common life if we will only open our eyes to our companions.
Let us worship not in bowing down, not with eyes closed and stopped ears.
Let us worship with the opening of all windows of our beings, with the full outstretching of our spirits.
Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and heart and body, to those who have fallen in love with life.
Let us worship and let us learn to love.
Now it's time for Story for All Ages. I invite the children up. There's no children, but we'll still read the book since it's a story for all ages. Okay. Yes, I'll read it like this. Okay. Ohani Kamani did not see herself as a Wahani girl or think she was a Kane boy. She just preferred Ohani. She is who she is, her mother said. She does what she wants, her father said. But her sister Kana wished Ohani did not sing songs so loud or play the ukulele faster and better than every Kane at school. One morning, Ohani's teacher, Kumahina, made an announcement. This year, they will bring Hawaiian custom back to the community. Our high school, Kane, will perform a traditional hula chant, she said. Closing her eyes, Ohani could almost smell the smoke from the driftwood fire, hear her feet stomping, stomping, see fingers tap, tap, tapping, the palms pitter-pat, patting. She sighed. If only she were Kane and old enough for high school. And then Ohani heard auditions. Ohani could not wait to tell her family. There will be 3 tests, she said, and Kumahina says I should try out. Her father and mother and brothers were not surprised. Kane rolled her eyes. Really? Ohani wanted to say she could not believe it either. Before she could speak, her sister changed the subject. Yay. The next day, Ohani jogged to the gym. She peered inside. Strolling down the line, Kumahina inspected each Kane's stance. On her command, their arms rose, bending at the elbows. When Kumahina pushed down hard to measure the warrior's strength, Ohani's breath quickened. She should be with them. She made up her mind, and she strode inside. One by one, their faces changed. Awane? Awane? Not Awane. Last in line, Ohani lifted her arms. As Kumahina pushed down, she held her place, strong, sure, and steady. Ohani could not stop grinning when she told her family she passed. Kane frowned. How embarrassing. Her words made Ohani's tremble. She wanted to ask Kana if they could ride bikes again like they used to, but before she could speak, her sister had turned away. Memorizing the sway and song of the story took patience and practice. Ohani did not stop until Hawaii's history was a part of her, in dreams by night and thoughts by day, hands dragging across her face, arms reaching for the sky. As Ohani called the sun, the moon, the stars, she held her place, strong, sure, and steady. Finally, it was time to choose a leader. Ohani's stomach twisted in nervous knots. One Kane another, and then another stepped forward. Ohani studied them. Who was nervous? Who stood tall? Who stayed focused? Then it was her turn. Faces swarmed in front of Ohani as she called for attention. O-A-O. She paused. Would they follow her? No time to think. Words pushed against her lips, and the chant trembled out. Aki Mumu Kiki, sweeping her warriors into a tidal wave of voices until Ohani's called the end. Ahila, Ahila, Iue. Silence sung in the air. When Ohani saw complete awe and true acceptance, she held her place. Strong, sure, and steady. She was the leader. Later, Kumahina beckoned her over. Her teacher spoke with her in respected honesty. She said some might not appreciate a Wani leading their sons up into the stage. They might create a fuss. Ohani knew she could not quit now. She earned this position. She thought of her sister and looked up at Kunahina. If someone wants to leave, she said, that's their problem. That evening, Huna could not wait to tell her family and parents she'd been chosen as a leader of the hula troupe. Her parents and brothers were proud, but Kane wasn't. Why do you always have to reject Wane things, she said. Just because I feel more Kane doesn't mean I'm not Wane. I'm in the middle. Why can't you let me be? Before Kane could speak, Ohani left the table. The last day of the show finally arrived. People lined up, tickets in hand. Chatter overflowed the hall. Ohani wanted to feel strong, sure, and steady, but she was nervous. What if she wasn't Kane enough? What if people protested? What would she do? From behind the curtain, a voice boomed. The next day, the island shook violently. It was cue. Ready or not, it was time. And to the beat of the drums, the thud of the heels, the clack of the sticks, she toed heels stomped across the stage. Ohani faced the crowd. Her skin prickled. She felt their curiosity and the darkness, but she held her place. Strong, sure, and steady. Akuma Mumu Kiki. Her voice thundered. The crowd gasped with appreciation and roared with approval. One person stood. Ohani caught her breath. Kana? Ohani had found her place, not as a Wane, not as a Kane, but as a hula warrior. In this congregation, we found it helpful to share ups and downs of our lives by the practice of taking a stone from a bowl, holding it in our hand, warming it, and expressing our thoughts in joy and concern, then placing it in the stone in the water so the ripples of the water carry our joys and concerns out into the wider world. Is this on? Okay. I will begin by expressing my gratitude for waking up and coming here today. It's been a long week and I made it, so yes, thank you.
So I'm Paul. This week we've been gifted with the gift of our granddaughter and my daughter and her husband, my son-in-law. And it's been a lot of fun to have them here. This morning my daughter gifted us with the gift of waking up at 5:15 because the window had been left open. And when the birds got up, so did she. So this was especially exciting. So we had more time to spend with her. Thank you. I'm John, and I have two joys. One is that I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to go to Eric's open house last week. Wonderful time, and I enjoyed that immensely. And to make it even better, I got to drive Peter Holland's Tesla.
Oh.
I'm Allan, and I guess the first is sort of a concern and an apology to the Green family that we didn't have anybody scheduled for childcare today. We're still working on the summer schedule for that. We do have most of the Sundays in June covered, but anyway, thanks for being flexible. Thanks to Carol for being flexible and playing for us even though she didn't plan to. That would be another one. And thanks to all of you who are here and are going to stay for the annual meeting. We need a quorum, so we need you to stay. And as you heard earlier, the birthday cake and coffee are right in the back, so we'll allow people to bring your coffee and cake up and sit down and eat during the meeting. And speaking of birthday cake, I don't know very many June birthdays, but I think there's one for Deb McIntyre. And so I'll just mention that. It's not HIPAA as long as we don't say what year. That's my understanding. So if you have a June birthday, please don't be shy. Come up and tell us.
Morning, I'm Kevin. A stone this morning for the passing of Chet Grosclose and for his widow, Bessie Rice.
Hi, I'm Scott. This is not for something that's happened or changed. This is something that's happening in our life. At 5 a.m., as Paul said, we start hearing this little guk, guk, guk. Guk, guk, guk. It's quiet. It doesn't go anywhere. But we hear it constantly. And what we've discovered is there is a cowbird that has fallen in love with his own image against our sliding doors. And I would now know what the sound of a cowbird's mating call is.
Hi, I'm Christy, and I haven't been here for a while, but I have been watching online, and I got to tell you, I am so sorry I missed the musical program.
Oh, yeah.
That was so inspiring and just so awesome. However, I was at home, and this is for that because it was incredible. I was actually at home finishing a project I've been working on for months and months and months, which is my kitchen. So I've got a couple little tiny details, but ceiling's in, floor's in, cabinets are painted, the whole 9 yards, and so I am, that's one thing really off my shoulders, so. But I was so inspired by everything with that program, so I'm really sorry I missed it.
Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Liz. My sister Susan's birthday is in June, so we can celebrate her. And my cousin from Nashville is visiting, and an unexpected visit, and we've been having the most fun, and I even got a tattoo. So we all did.
Ian Hafke, and I'd like to welcome Linda Dorweiler. She's visiting Jennifer, and welcome Linda here. And she's also a Universal Unitarian as well. So it's not unusual, and that's a good thing. So we welcomed her here, and she'll be here all week. And it's awesome to get to see her again. And um, uh, I like to request if anybody's able to give me a ride to and from Brandon. I'll be happy to pay gas money if need be, but I'm not going to pay for a car. No. Just gas. Thank you.
I'm Teddy, the Nashville cousin. I too got a tattoo, and it says, "Let it be easy." And I'm reconnected with in a very important part of my family in the last 4 days, and it has been life-changing. So I would encourage and reminding myself that to take those unexpected and risky reconnections and forgiveness, and I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you.
My name is Izumi Kei. Last week, my father passed away, so it is very sad, very heavy. But I hope this stone release my grief a little bit. He's really he taught me a lot of things, but, and he's one of teach me we have to respect all religion, all race. Also, so just I'm so glad to hear to share about my father, and also Sky's June 16th birthday today. No, this month.
Okay, one more. So it's a good day. It's good to be here. We're dealing with some things in my family that are a little bit challenging, and if anyone likes to weed and doesn't have the opportunity to do so in your own home, you are welcome to come and help me. My spouse is dealing with brain cancer, and it's changing the paradigm a lot within our daily construct, I guess. And I'm offering a stone for him, and thank you.
I want to thank Edie for welcoming me. I am Linda from the Flagstaff Beacon Unitarian Church in Flagstaff. We've been lay-led for a year, and I'm president, and I will end my presidency at the end of June. I'll be very happy. But our annual meeting is on June 23rd. So I wish you success in your annual meeting today. I'm hoping I get a quorum too.
Now I put this final stone in, symbolizing all of our joys and concerns. Now let us pause for a moment of silent reflection as we consider what we have heard and what is in our own hearts and in our own minds. Our second song is going to be number 34. Our second reading is going to be number 477. Forgive us that often we forgive ourselves so easily and others so hardly. Forgive us that we expect perfection from those to whom we show none. Forgive us for repelling people by the way we set a good example. Forgive us the folly of trying to improve a friend. Forbid that we should use our little idea of goodness as a spare to wound those who are different. Forbid that we should feel superior to others when we are only more shielded. And may we encourage the secret struggle of every person. And our message today is going to be from a familiar face that we all know and love, Allan, with the title Sustainability for All Souls.
Thank you, Rebecca. One of the exciting things that we experience here is leadership development. And as I think back over the past year and with the annual meeting today, that to me is probably the most rewarding thing, is when we can cultivate new leadership. And so as I told Rebecca, there's lots of people who have done this for the first time, and they were nervous too. And it's really a joy to see people like you rise to the occasion and be the coordinator for the first time. So thank you, Rebecca. Along those lines, we've also heard various people share how their thinking has evolved. And that too has been, for me, a real treat to hear people who I thought I knew pretty well, and then there's all kinds of surprises that come out as they share their story and their evolution of their thinking. And so that's, again, in the spirit of leadership development, I feel like that's a huge strength that we have here at All Souls, and part of the guarantee of our sustainability. So now I'd like to share some feel-good messages, quotes from some of you that I've collected in this topic of what I appreciate about All Souls, or what keeps me coming back here. Here are direct quotes. This church supports me emotionally. It's a place where our opinions are respected. I feel safe here. This is a value beyond words. And that, incidentally, has been shared by a couple of people who came here and spoke for the first time and said that they had a sense of safety, and they just felt that the minute they came and were part of our program. Unitarian Universalists make the broader community a better place. I value contact with phenomenal people here. It's a unique place where you can be yourself and differences are celebrated. I'm a refugee from religion, and it's safe to be myself here. Why didn't I know before that this place was here? Well, we know we all have something very special here at All Souls, and it's good to remind ourselves once in a while, not to simply pat ourselves on the back, but to make sure that we safeguard what we have. You've already shown your appreciation by your participation in our recent pledge drive, which has been declared a success. By making and fulfilling your pledge, you help to guarantee the sustainability of our church family. This is no small achievement, and we can't thank each of you enough for doing your part to keep our fiscal house in order by keeping our budget in the black. So we'll hear more about that at the annual meeting. The other way you help to guarantee the sustainability of All Souls is with your time and the energy that you devote to this organization. We dare not underestimate how important this is and how heavily we rely on your volunteer participation. And sometimes I know it feels like you're being voluntold to do something. But we don't want to do that, and I'll say more about that later. But here are some examples, and I haven't listed everything, but just a reminder of all the things that are done by volunteers. Cleaning, both routine and special cleaning, yard mowing, weed spraying, upkeep of the peace garden, coffee hospitality, serving on the church board, maintaining financial records, teams like the Sunday program planning team, events team, community outreach, lifelong learning, property upkeep, communication, sound system and live streaming, and the list could go on and on. We love it when you volunteer, but we can't always wait until someone steps forward. Sometimes we have to recruit, and sometimes we may sound a little pushy or desperate or demanding, but we don't want to push you away by demanding too much. So here I want to speak frankly about the importance of boundaries. This is a very delicate issue. On the one hand, our church family depends heavily on your volunteer support. We are a relatively small organization and we have large ambitions, and so sometimes it seems like there aren't enough of us to do everything that needs to get done. We may think as leaders that we know what is best for All Souls, and we may think that you would be the perfect for such and such a task, but we want you to decide what is best for you. You know yourself best. You know your capabilities and your limits, and so you must always feel free to say no. And we must always respect your no. That's the appropriate use of boundaries. I want to make this very clear. As your church leaders, we need your help. We want to be free to ask for your help, and we want you to be free to say yes or no or not right now. You may have seen what happens when people don't have good boundaries. They may take on too much. They may become resentful. They may burn out. They may suddenly quit. They may badmouth someone who they think isn't doing enough. And this can poison the atmosphere of an organization. So maintaining healthy boundaries is one of the most important ways to sustain the long-term health of our All Souls church family. And now turn to the place of All Souls in the larger community with a quote and a story. The quote is from Steve Hildebrand, the founder of Promising Futures, the organization that's done a lot for the underprivileged kids at various schools in Sioux Falls. And working in the school district, I've seen some direct results of the wonderful work of Promising Futures. And a few years ago, we made that our cause during the holiday appeal and made a substantial gift to Promising Futures. And Steve wrote in his thank you note that All Souls is small but mighty. And I think that's a very high compliment from a very authoritative person. And now the illustration of how we are small but mighty and the impact that we have in the community comes from St. Patrick's Day a couple of months ago, when a half a dozen of us carried the new All Souls banner in the St. Patrick's Day parade on a chilly day in March. And I'll have to say, as an introvert, that's not my favorite thing to do. To be walking down the street in front of hundreds or thousands of people. But I put on a happy face and made, fake it till you make it, as they say. And what amazed me was how many people along the parade route, people who I didn't know, smiled and waved at us when they saw the All Souls banner. And to me, what that seems to suggest, and I don't think I'm just dreaming this, but I think it suggests that we have a good reputation in the community among lots of people who have never set foot inside of our doors, but somehow they know something about All Souls and they appreciate us. And so as I looked out on the crowds that day and saw the smiles and the warmth and the look of recognition on their faces, I felt like we really do have something special here that is small but mighty and has maybe a bigger impact in this community than we realize. And every once in a while, people find their way here. They often tell us they learned about us online, which points to the importance of that electronic communication that we do. And so it's another indication of our impact here in the larger community. Well, one final word about sustainability, and that is the word prioritize. We can't do everything that we'd like to do. So choosing priorities is a way of clarifying our values and living out our values, and not simply doing what we've always done in the past. There's a saying, that the 7 last words of the church are, "We have always done it this way." And that's not necessarily a healthy way to make decisions. So yesterday on Hidden Brain, Shankar Vedantan interviewed the author of a book entitled Subtract. The author points out how we're often tempted to add more and more in our lives. We're always adding to our to-do list. And he also gave the example of when legislators add more laws to the books. And now in some places, in some legislatures, they have had the radical approach of every time they add a new law or a new stipulation or a new regulation, they also take away something that is outdated and get that off the books. Sometimes subtracting is a healthy thing to do. And so he also gave the suggestion that when we make a to-do list, we also make a don't-do list of things that we don't need to do, things that we normally have been doing and we thought were so important and maybe they're not anymore. And so in that thought, sometimes we need to do that here at All Souls as well, and not necessarily try to do more and more and spread ourselves too thin, but instead to decide what are the true priorities and what do we truly value. And so we can make 3 lists. This is not original to me, but I'm sure you've heard it before. There's things that we need to do, things that would be nice to do, and things that would be nuts to do. In other words, you're nuts if you think you need to do that. So, as we reflect on our future and the importance of sustaining All Souls long into the future, let us choose carefully what are our priorities and make the best of the resources we have make the best of the time and energy that we have and keep ourselves healthy with wise boundaries and serving with a spirit of love, as we sang in the recent song. So I'm glad that we're ending a little early today, because that way you can still have a little time for coffee and fellowship and still stay for the meeting and still get home at an appropriate time. So in conclusion, thank you for all you do to contribute to the sustainability of all souls.
Half of our donations, our offerings, will go to support the Ohi TK. It's a nonprofit founded by Michael, a standing soldier, to benefit the Native persons returning from the justice system. And then the other half will go to supporting our operating budget here at All Souls. Let us read the offering words together. We give these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. We dedicate these gifts to the work of our congregation, serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Our final and third song will be Lean on Me, found in the Teal Book, and that's page 1021.
We all have sorrow.
Our third reading is going to be number 468. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. One another. We need one another when we are in despair and temptation and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another in the hour of success when we look for someone to share our triumph. We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. The chalice is extinguished, but the light goes with us out into the world.